I watched the first episode of The Acolyte. I didn't watch both of them. I watched the first one, Lost/Found. And guess what? It wasn't awful. I was surprised. I was expecting heavy-handed gender politics, if that's the correct word. I was expecting unrealistic garbage. And I did sort of get that with the opening sequence when Carrie-Ann Trinity, Jedi Master Moss, engaged in Hitman type choreography with May, turns out her name is. I'm like, why didn't she just pick up a porcelain cup with the Force and hit her in her brainstem with it while she's doing all this kung fu? She's throwing knives. I'm like, your lightsaber. If you threw the light, you could really hold her in place with the Force and throw the lightsaber through her, because she was not demonstrating any affinity for the Force until the end. Because the whole time I'm like, wait a minute, this chick with the beads in her hair in Star Wars, who just got out of the beauty salon chair before she decided to kill a Jedi, isn't using any agency of Force push, Force grab, Force anything. I'm like, why isn't Carrie-Ann Trinity Moss just dismantling her? The opening sequence was ridiculous. And then, bead hair, May, hurls a knife at this bartender whose eyes are further apart than East is from West. She stops the knife, doesn't realize that May, the Sith assassin, is using the oldest trick in the book, and then she throws a knife right into her heart. This was a disgrace of the Jedi Order. For her to be killed so easily, it bothered me. Now, having said that, did it reflect poorly on my overall assessment of the episode? Surprisingly, no. And at first I was wondering, I said, wait, why is this assassin in rebel colors, the earth tones, the light browns and the greens, and she's working on a Nemoidian Trade Federation ship as, I don't want to call it black market, but she's basically working under the table, because when the Jedi came to the Nemoidian cruiser, they said, we ain't got no mech techs, or whatever they said, when in fact she was there. I did like the Jedi outfits. I don't remember what the young man's name was that looked like Grey Worm, and I don't remember the other young lady's name, who I believe was a Padawan. But I liked their outfits. I liked the Nemoidian's outfit. I liked the ship designs, and it was not horrible. Now, I'm not going to go step by step as to what happened. I'm just going to tell you my overall feelings about the episode. Her name was Osha. So immediately I thought of OSHA, Occupational Safety and Hazard Administration. Just a little Sith humor there. But when Osha crashes on Korlak, I believe that was the name of the planet. It was a desolate ice planet, and I always loved ice planets. She's having a vision of some sort, and there's this little girl who's walking like she's special ed or something at first, and then she winds up trotting. And I'm thinking, wait, why don't you just catch up to her? Because remember, I'm assuming that the Sith assassin, May, is just disguising herself as Osha. Okay. So Osha is tracked down pretty quickly too, by Jedi Master, I do not remember his name. He was an Asian gentleman. And the one that looks like Grey Worm, as well as a white-faced, I don't remember what species she was or what her name was, another white-faced Padawan. So she's cornered. The young Asian Jedi recognizes her, and he says, you fit the description of the murderer of Master Indara, Carrie-Ann Moss Trinity, okay? And she says, how could you think I'd do that? And he says he believes her. She tells him that May is alive. So I'm like, wait a minute. So that's her twin sister, May. And the whole time I'm thinking, wait a minute. Is it really a sister, or is it sort of a Harvey Dent Two-Face situation where when Harvey Dent was younger, his abusive older brother Murray died in a fire, and Harvey, his psychosis began there with the death of his brother Murray. So we understand that there's a split personality that Harvey Dent assumes. Almost like Norman Bates assuming the personality of his abusive mother. So at first I'm thinking, wait a minute, maybe she killed Jedi Master Indara while she was in a deep sleep. Perhaps it would be very psychological. I don't have a problem with that. But then it is revealed, she said that May is alive. Osha said that. And the Jedi Master, the Asian, I wish I remembered his name, he said, I believe you. And I was really into it. I'll give one criticism. I wish they would have waited at least one more episode to solidify that May was alive. Because as the audience, you're thinking, wait, Osha did do this, because it looks just like Osha that killed her. But they gave it away that it was not a figment of her imagination, but it was in fact May who was alive. It's not bad, I'm just saying that's a criticism that I wish they would have stretched it out just one more episode just to keep that intrigue going. And the episode ends with Smiley the Sith facing away from May, who I guess is her master. And of course, he has an electronically modified voice, harkening back to yours truly, Darth Vader, as well as Kylo Ren. So, while they had an opportunity to tell a very original story, which isn't bad, mind you, they rely on old familiar callbacks. Someone dressed in all black with a modified voice and a helmet that resembles the old Sith droid that Vader is designed after, retroactively, revisionist historically, of course, after the fact. But, as I said, this wasn't terrible. But let me address Leslie Highland. Get off your high horse, Highland. Saying that we can afford to go and make Star Wars stories without George Lucas. Lady, that might be true, but you are not the one that should have that come out of your mouth, because you are no one yet. Will this propel you to stardom? Who knows? But you don't come out of the gate talking like you're a big shot or a bigwig when you're nobody. You're nobody, Leslie. You were picked because you are a woman to be the director of this series, or the showrunner, whatever it is. You did a good job in the first episode. But shut your mouth about George Lucas and Star Wars. Earn your stripes, keep his name out of your mouth, and focus on what you do. There, I've said all I had to say. So, to grade this episode, I'm going to rely on the symbology and numerology of Earth grading, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give this episode a B-. It's not terrible. Is it groundbreaking? No. As I said, there's a familiar callback with Smiley the Sith being dressed in all black with the familiar helmet and an electronically modified voice. But I give it a B-. It's not terrible. And I'm intrigued with this duology between May and Osha. Give yourself to the dark side. Give yourself to the dark side.